Don't let a Christian man comes lay down a criteria for us how to believe in Islam. Don't come to me tell me you only use the Quran. Don't do that to me. I'm not Qurani. I'm a Muslim Salafi Sunni, which I follow the Quran and the Sunnah and the.
فتعالى الله الملك الحق ولا تعجل بالقرآن من قبل أن يقضى إليك وحيه وقل رب زدني علما.
They don't want to answer questions. They heckle people. This is how they operate.
I know this is how they operate.
I heard what you were saying. The Quran has confirmed the Injil and the Torah.
Exactly.
So when they argue,
this is he contradicts.
Shamsi, we want to debate you.
No, I'm not debating.
Why? I want to debate Islamic Tawheed.
Why is it?
Tawheed.
Tawheed.
My pronunciation is neither here nor there. So here we have Hashim doesn't want to debate Islamic Tawheed. Ali Dawa doesn't want to debate Islamic Tawheed. Shamsi doesn't want to debate Islamic Tawheed. Do you want to debate now?
Allah Akbar. He lies. He just lied.
Did you just lie?
Yeah, no.
He just lied, ikhwa. Leave him.
Earlier,
I didn't say it's not
camera. You said.
I said let them come.
Are you ready to debate it? Are you ready to
Every
debate
time I speak
it?
to
Are you ready to debate it?
I was going.
Okay, so
Define what is Tawheed.
One second. Let's just agree some ground rules.
Yeah, no lying.
Let's agree some ground rules. Yeah? Practice what you preach. So let's agree some ground rules.
Let's lay down foundation.
Yeah? Okay. 5 minutes? 5 minutes.
No, don't speak like that.
Too long, 5 minutes. So how are we going to do this? We're just going to start shouting over one another? What are you proposing?
Respect.
Everyone can speak. You cannot use any verse from the Quran to support your belief. Let me lay down this foundation first.
I don't.
You know what?
Carry on.
Can I speak?
Carry on.
Do you know why?
Carry on.
Ikhwan, everyone starts joking and I have to leave. I don't speak.
By the way,
You know what? Yeah, tell me we're gonna lie. Because what happened, every time you don't speak to someone, they say you're running. So therefore you have to do what? You have to have a batch, a debater. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's make you understand that. You cannot use the Quran to support your own belief. Do you know why? Because you believe. Can I speak now?
Sorry, hold on. We're talking about the terms of the debate, Shamsi. Yeah? I am not going to agree to that rule. We're talking about the format of a debate.
No, before we start debate,
do you want to debate Islamic Tawheed or
Of
not?
course, but you have to lay down foundation, correct?
Okay.
You have to lay down foundation.
The terms of the debate is about timing and pacing.
No, that's not what
You're
I'm saying.
laying down
foundation.
what evidence I can use and what
You
evidence
just
I can't use.
Yeah, you can speak.
That's ridiculous.
You can speak anytime.
It's ridiculous.
You can speak. You mentioned argument.
It's ridiculous. Because all that happened,
It's
Shamsi.
ridiculous.
what
I don't
happened,
speak 5
Shamsi?
minutes, 10 minutes. You know why?
All that
Because
happened,
if you give me
Shamsi,
5
you
minutes,
tried to shout other people.
No, I don't speak like that. I'm gonna
Why
speak.
are you fired?
Yeah, thank you.
Why are you fired?
I'm not.
Why are you trying to? We don't go by your
Why is you?
So let's debate. Let's debate then.
He said you took over. He took it over me.
You're talking of him.
Two people took it same time.
Yeah, but you're doing it. You're doing it.
Okay, look after yourself.
Okay.
Anyway,
There we go.
I'm
Another
scared.
member of the
Because
Islamic Dawah
I'm
team
scared.
who doesn't
I'm
want to
scared.
debate,
I'm scared.
doesn't want to
You
debate
don't let me speak.
Tawheed.
You don't let me speak.
So do you want to debate Tawheed?
Yes, so let me speak.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that.
Let me speak then.
Okay, so
So now listen carefully. Now we have to lay down a foundation, okay?
the format.
Whatever you know, it's foundation, criteria. You know, it's criteria.
Format.
Format.
Talking about the format of the debate.
Meaning that in order for you to speak about the book of Allah, the Quran, you have to bring how the Prophet Muhammad understood it and how the companions understood it. Because in the Quran, it tells us how to understand the Quran by going to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and by going to the companions, likewise to the scholars. You cannot use your own understanding to the Quran. Do you accept that?
No. So, the fact of the matter is, he's trying to determine how the evidence...
You want to bring your own opinion.
Do you notice? He demanded that I listen to him. Yes. But now he doesn't want to listen to me. So, deciding the format of the debate is about deciding the terms of the debate in terms of pacing and how you structure the debate. Deciding the format of the debate is not talking about what evidence you can use and how that evidence can be interpreted.
No, it's not.
The fact of the matter is, each of us are to construct our argument using the evidence that we have, and the merits of our argument will be judged by you who are listening and watching.
Exactly.
So if I am making something up about the Quran, he will find it very easily to prove. If I'm not making something up, he won't find it so easy. So he can't decide for me what evidence I use and how I use it. His job in this debate is, if I am misusing evidence, to expose that.
You finished?
Yeah.
Okay. And now what I said, it makes sense. No way. Imagine now I'm coming to British law. I'm going to give an example. If is it logical for me to start judging the British law according to Algerian law? It's not, because British law said, no, this is British law. You have, if you want to submit to it, you have to submit to it according how the British government lay down the law. And now when you come to the Quran tells us how to understand it. So therefore, when you're going to use the verse, the Quran tells you how to use the verse according what? To the Prophet Muhammad understanding, likewise the companions. Otherwise, you'll be contradicting yourself. Do you understand my point? Does it make sense? It makes sense. Now, if you come into the Quran with your understanding of the Bible, do you understand? No,
no, no,
He's still trying to tell me what evidence I can use. He's still trying to tell me what evidence I can use.
So now, do you understand my point? Do you understand my point? So now, go for the sake of argument. Let us what you want to speak about.
Okay. So firstly, I don't see any evidence in the Quran that tells Muslims to use hadiths. None. Not one. Not a bit. Actually, it says that the Quran. It says that the Quran is its interpretation. It doesn't say anything about using a separate body of literature to interpret the Quran. Okay. So I'm quite within my means. I'm quite within my reams to reject his logic.
No, wait. You
we're now talking.
No, you said correct me.
We're now talking.
There's no 2 minutes.
We're now talking about Islamic
I'm going to give you a
Tawheed.
proof.
Do you see how he's talking over me? Do you see how he's talking over me? This is why I wanted to have a format. Do you see?
I'm trying to correct him.
Do you see how the Islamic Dawah team Do you see how the Islamic Dawah team interrupts?
Listen,
I'll ask you again. Shamsi, the topic of the debate is Tawheed. Do you want to debate Tawheed, yes or no?
I said yes, but let me speak.
Okay, so let's talk about Tawheed. Stop changing the topic. Stop taping the topic.
Wait. Okay, now, remember what he said? He said, this he's wording. He said, Shamsi, what he can do, if I miss the Quran, or I miss something, he can correct me. Did he say that or not?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm doing now. I said, he said...
Islamic
No.
Tawheed.
No.
That was the topic of the debate. That was the topic of the debate. Why are you frightened to talk about Tawheed? You want to change the topic. Leave the guy alone. He's already having a difficult day. Don't make him more worse.
That's what you think.
You make one point.
Okay, no, it's point. For the sake of argument, but let me just correct one point. One point he made mistake on. One point he made mistake that he said in the Quran does not tell us to go outside the Quran to understand it. I can't speak. We speak at the same time. Barakallahu fiik. In the hadith. But Allah said in Surah Al-Nahl, وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الذِّكْرَ لِتُبَيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْهِمْ. That's why the problem with this
filthy kafur. Yeah, filthy kafur. That's what you wanted to say. Filthy kafur. That's what you wanted to say. Filthy kafur. Okay, yeah, we know what we wanted to say. Shamsi the Islamist.
So Allah said, "Oh Muhammad, we send down the dhikr to you here in order for you to explain to them what has been revealed to them." Allah sent the Quran. If you define anything, brother, please, I don't know what you're talking about. Please, I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you talking? Brother, why are you chicken around here? Brother, I always say, Jahil, Muslim, ignorant, stay in your houses. Don't come speak his corner. Anyway, Allah said the Quran, if you define anything, refer to who? To Allah. So to Nisa, to Allah and to who? To His Prophet. So again, Allah sent the Quran. I'll show you another verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned.
No, 1 point. That's
I'll show you misquote.
No, 1 point. 1 point.
Let's go to Tawheed.
So, despite the fact that I invited him to talk about Islamic Tawheed, he's managed to change the topic onto hadiths and Quran.
He's a good comedian. Good comedian.
Notice the heckling. Notice the heckling.
English Abu Jahl.
All the time. All the time. I can never have a debate with a Muslim without the Islamic Dawah team interrupting and heckling every time I talk.
He's not Islamic Dawah team.
So, you're interrupting me. I thought I was meant to be talking and you were meant to be listening. So he quoted a verse of the Quran that told the Muslims to go to Muhammad for the interpretation of the Quran. I quite agree. Muslims were to go to Muhammad for the interpretation of the Quran. Except that when Muhammad died, what do you have left? You don't have any hadiths. They were all written 200 years later. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt.
That's not true.
Notice how he's interrupting. Notice how he's interrupting.
No. You
However,
lied.
what
You
the
lied.
Quran
No. That's my way. You cannot
says-
push Shubha.
Notice he's interrupting. What the Quran also says, there is in their stories instruction for men imbued with understanding.
That's
It
translation of
is
the Quran.
not a hadith invented,
Whose
but a
stories?
confirmation that went before it, a detailed exposition of all things. If the Quran is a detailed exposition of all things, you don't need any hadiths. Except that you do need hadiths because the Quran is not a detailed exposition of all things. It actually misses out lots of information. So I would challenge you,
No, before you challenge me, you can
without
answer this.
using hadiths,
No, before.
without using hadiths, without using the hadiths, to show me where in the Shahada, the formula of the Shahada you give when you become a Muslim, where is this instruction and where is its formula in the Quran? That you have to say it and it's in this formula.
Okay,
Show
you
me in the
mentioned
Quran.
something good. He mentioned something good, yes? Let us now.
Because I want to get it onto Tawheed.
You offer to offer me now.
Oh, he's quick to complain. He's quick to
Hakila doesn't
complain.
speak. The Hakila doesn't speak.
Quick to complain. Double standard.
Now
We're
you're
used to
joking.
it. The Islamic Dawah team live by double standards.
Islamic Dawah.
He's part of the
Don't do
Islamic
it.
Dawah team.
Don't do it.
Hashim's part of the Islamic Dawah team. He's part of the Islamic Dawah team. He's part of the Islamic Dawah team. I don't know about you.
Can I speak?
Yeah, go on,
Can I
go on,
speak now?
go on.
He mentioned a verse.
I'm debating Shamsi, not Hashim.
He mentioned a verse. It's Surah Yusuf.
Right, let's hear him.
Sorry,
He
go on,
mentioned, I'm
Shamsi.
sorry for shouting on that because I don't like shouting sometimes, even me I do shout, of course, without any doubt. But I like to have a nice conversation.
Okay,
he mentioned a verse in the Quran,
calm down.
ما كان حديثا يفترى ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه. That he mentioned a verse in Surah Yusuf, it's not an invented speech, but it's detailed. But he doesn't understand what does it mean in the Quran when he said detailed. Because within the Quran, he give us how to understand it. So that is part of being in detail. So how to understand the book, Allah told us in the Quran, by going to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, likewise by following the companions, likewise what? By going back to scholars. So it is in detail, is it? Like now when I advise you, my son, I'm going to advise you in details what to do. If you have a problem with the mechanic, go to the mechanician. If you have a problem with your body, go to the doctors. But I never told you how the doctors will treat you. That is detailed or not, it's still detailed. Because why? I'm referring you to how
Experts,
to. So I'm saying that's why I give you a nice benefit here.
Except,
And
I mean, one point.
No, I haven't finished.
You made a point.
No, I haven't finished.
Okay.
I haven't finished.
One
so now,
point.
One last point.
No,
can't
that's
tell
the
me.
second point.
You can't.
This is the second point.
I haven't even finished my point.
You made a point.
I haven't finished my point.
Wait, finish your point. Finish your point. Finish your point.
On the same point.
Yes,
Finish
of
your
course.
point, on the same point.
So what he just did is exactly what took place between one of the Muslim scholars and the rabbis. The rabbi, he tried to mock the Muslim scholars. He said they were having. So can you tell me how this food is being made? The scholar said yes. Allah told us that in the Quran. He said how? He called the chef. He said, come, tell us how you made the food. He said this and that. And the man said to him, where is this in the Quran? Allah said, ask people of knowledge if you do not know. And this person is a person of knowledge how to make the food. Allah Akbar. So I
Okay.
refute your point.
So, no, 1 second, 1 second. You had your chance. 1 second. No, stop. You had your chance.
No.
No. 1 point. 1 point. We all heard that. 1 point. 1 point. We all heard that. 1 point. 1 point. Now it's my turn to reply. Notice they don't want me to talk. Notice they don't don't want me to talk. Shamsi, no, stop, Shamsi, no, Shamsi, you made a point. It's my turn to reply.
No, don't play
These
around.
were your rules. Now we're going to stick to them.
Shamsi
Look at
leaves.
the Christian Dawah team.
Stick to the
Dawah
rules
team.
that you laid down.
Christian Dawah team.
Notice every time that I have to talk,
I will do it after.
the Islamic Dawah team, I have to fight for the right to
Christian
speak.
Dawah team.
So, I asked Shamsi a very basic question. I asked him to show me in the Quran where it says that to become a Muslim. Why is he interrupting? Look at him all the time. Double standards by the Islamic Dawah team. They eat double standards. They breathe double standards. They live by double standards. So, Shamsi, once again, always interrupting. Double standards by Shamsi. So, I'm trying to. Thank you. Thank you. You're stealing all my best lines, Hashim. Yeah, exactly. Copyright. I've got copyright. So anyway, now the point that I'm making is I asked Shamsi a very basic question. Show me in the Quran where it says to become a Muslim, you must say these words, and then gives the formula of the Shahada. The reason why I asked that is because I want to move this debate off the Hadiths and the Quran and onto my original topic, which was about Islamic Tawheed. That's why I asked the question. However, just going back to the Quran, it says, we know best what they say, and thou art not one to overawe them by force, so admonish them with the Quran, such as fear my warning. It says admonish them with the Quran, not the Quran and Hadiths. The idea of using Hadith is not commanded by Allah. Allah only commands the first Muslims to follow Muhammad's interpretation of the Quran. It does not justify the writing, compiling and use of a second body of literature. This is the point that I'm making.
Anyway,
so,
give me the phone.
I will ask you the question again. Show me in the Quran where it says to become a Muslim, you say these words and it gives the formula. Please.
Answer the question.
No, don't tell me what to do.
Christian Dawah team. Look at the Christian Dawah team.
Answer the question.
Don't duck him down.
The last point.
When you finish, let me speak. Okay. Ikhwa, do you remember many times I mentioned, don't let a kafir billah lay down.
Disbeliever in
Just for those of you who don't know, Kafir has the kind of intonation of calling someone a racial term.
No, it's not.
It's
The abuse of the Saracen.
Are you kafir or Muslim?
Carry on. The insulting language of the Islamic Dawah.
Okay, don't let
continue. Are you going to answer my question?
speak.
Carry on.
Okay. Don't let a Christian man comes lay down a criteria for us how to believe in Islam. Don't come to me tell me you only use the Quran. Don't do that to me. I'm not Qurani. I'm a Muslim Salafi Sunni, which I follow the Quran and the Sunnah and the Prophet. Where in the Quran says Shahadatan? Here Allah said, فَعَلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ Surah Muhammad, verse 19.
Which surah, please?
Surah Muhammad, verse 19. فَعَلَمْ
Sorry, which surah?
Surah Muhammad.
47:19.
Verse 19.
Verse 19. Chapter 47.
I know about chapters, I know about surah.
Chapter 47.
47. Yeah? Verse 19. فَعَلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لِذَنْبِكَ. Acknowledge there is no one worthy of worship except Allah. The other verse, Muhammadun Ish Rasulullah. So now, this,
sorry, 1 second. Which verse, please?
Verse 19.
47, 19.
Let's read it first.
No, let's read it. I'm speaking.
It's all right, let him talk.
Yeah. And now he's going to ask. Can speak.
Okay.
Now he's going to ask, where does it say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah anna Muhammad Rasulullah? Allah said in the Quran, where Allah said, obey Allah and obey the messenger. What the messenger said? He said, Al-Islamu buniya ala khams, shahadatu an la ilaha illallah, wa anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. The Islam is being built upon 5 pillars. The first one.
No, one point. You're going on to a second point.
finish. Translation. The Prophet Muhammad said, so is in the Quran, yes. Where the Quran says, Allah said, obey the messenger. What the messenger said, that Islam will be built on the first pillar. What is that? To testify there's no one worthy of worship except Allah, and to testify that Muhammad is the last messenger. I finish. You cannot
Okay,
impose.
thank you.
Wait.
He said
wait.
he's finished.
No, wait, I haven't. Wait.
Okay,
You cannot
finish your point, Shamsi.
You cannot. Listen carefully. You cannot impose your way on me. I'm a Muslim, not a Christian, not him, so you can't impose my way. The other point I was going to mention.
Other point.
Other point.
So, he's finished. Thank you very much. He's running away. He's running away. The fact of the matter is, 1 point. The fact of the matter is, look at how angry he's getting. Why are you getting so angry? You said another point. We agreed 1 point, 1 point. That's what we agreed. Always no. You've done. No. I asked Shamsi a very simple, a very easy question. I said to him, please show me in the Quran where Allah commands that to become a Muslim you have to say a shahada, and he gives the formula. The evidence that he brought forward was Surah 47, verse 19, which says, know therefore that there is no God but Allah, and ask forgiveness for thy fault and for the men and women who believe that Allah knows how ye move out and how ye dwell in your homes. The fact of the matter is, he has not shown the shahada. He hasn't, and now he's running away. He hasn't shown the shahada. He hasn't shown the shahada. I asked him to show me the shahada, and he hasn't done it.
You didn't let him.
I'll give you another chance.
You didn't let him.
Another chance. Show me. Where does it say it, Shamsi? Shamsi, you're the big man of the Islamic Dawah team. You wanted to debate me. Now's your chance. Show me. Where is the shahada? Where is it? This is the first principle of your beliefs. Surely it would be in the Quran. So you haven't got it. But yet you insist the
Yes, it's the obey Allah's messenger. What the messenger said, testify there is no one worthy of worship except Allah and Muhammad the messenger of Allah. Likewise, Allah mentioned it in general that a bear whoever bear that Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, they will have paradise. Whoever believe, you see what I'm saying? So my point is,
I asked him to debate Tawheed. He doesn't get to the point. He likes to have the second point. Tell him.
Yeah, I'm reading here. What I said, can you come this side? He just shouted.
What's that? Islamic Dawah team running in one today.
Ikhwan, no, believe this. Wallah, ikhwan, you know what it will become? Okay, this is no way. What was
Shamsi, come and answer my question.
I answered it. You don't like it. You don't like it.
Why don't you want to
cannot
answer my question?
dictate what I want. I just showed you. Are you that embarrassed? You cannot dictate. No, I can't dictate to me. Anyway, yeah. That's how the Christians behave. When you answer the question, don't like it. Now, okay. Listen carefully. Listen. Okay.
Let him speak.
You don't have to that's it.
Christian
How
dawah.
many times? Yeah, خلاص. إخوة, what I told you already, don't let a kafir billah or a Christian, anyone, lay down a criteria for your belief. Well, remember, in the beginning I said, don't let him lay down a foundation, meaning you only use the Quran. Because in the Quran, it tells us to obey who? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. In the Quran, it tells us, whoever believes in Muhammad, then will be from what? From those who enter to Jannah. Whoever worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone will be from the people of Jannah. And they are the Muslimun.
So
yes?
you can't believe in Muhammad?
But in details, I'm not speaking to no one, I'm speaking to the camera. Okay? I can speak to you after. In details, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ explained it. What he just did, just like a Rafida, they go to unclear verses. He went to unclear verses that use the Quran as a reminder. But likewise, there's other verses when Allah told us to go back to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and to go back to his understanding. So when he refuted him, he didn't like it. And he's not happy with the answer. I cannot force him. Likewise, when you ask Christians, show me Trinity in the Bible, they will give you answer and they tell you, if you're not happy, you don't take it. So why you try to impose your way on us when we try to impose our way on you, you don't like it? You see what I'm saying? So be careful from these criteria they try to lay down. We only use the Quran. No. In the Quran, tell us how to understand the Quran and it tell us how to understand the prophetic tradition. Him saying, I haven't answered it, doesn't not mean I have not. I did answer it. It's like a person, you try to show him the sun and he closes his eyes. You know, you show him the sun, but he doesn't want to see the sun. Anyway. إخوة سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك.
Let's go to Maghrib. Maghrib. It's prayer time. Shamsi. Prayer time. Prayer time. Let's go pray. Let's pray.
Guys, pray Maghrib, man. It's time already.